The next event that we're going to cover is the equipment carry. This event is testing the candidate's ability to follow directions and their grip strength. The firefighter is going to reach up and pull one at a time, each piece of equipment up, and place them on the ground. Once both items are on the ground, the candidate is going to simultaneously lift the objects and carry them for a predetermined distance. To best simulate the equipment carrying station, you're going to need three things: a length to walk of 40 feet, a shelf approximately 4 feet high, and either, ideally, a piece of equipment like a chainsaw, or 30-pound dumbbells, or milk jug or a water jug containing sand, gravel, or dirt. It's going to approximately weigh 20-25 pounds. To do the actual event, one at a time, you're going to take whatever piece of equipment you're using and put it on the ground. Make sure that when you're actually doing the lift or putting it on the ground, that you use the technique of keeping your back as straight as possible. If you're worried about hurting your back during this event, what you can do is focus on a point on the wall. If you're indoors, focus on where the ceiling meets the wall and look at that. As you're dropping down, that will keep your head up and keep your back straight, so you'll be using your legs for the lift. Then stand up and then now walk down to your 40-foot mark. Once you've reached that point, just turn around and come back. Just remember, when you come back, it's the same technique of lifting, using these pieces of equipment one at a time, placing them on the ground one at a time using that proper lifting technique we just talked about, and placing them back up on the shelf. Straight back, using his legs. As you do this event, you'll get stronger. Increase the weight of your dumbbells or increase the weight of your milk jugs. And we're shooting for 30 to 40 pounds of each piece of equipment. And we're going to try to do this 3 or 4 times a week, unless it's a problem for you. If this event is an actual problem for you and you've had trouble doing it when you do your CPAT practice days, then try to shoot for doing this 6 or 7 times a week. And we're going to try to do the actual walk with a minute rest in between them, but we're going to try to do that 4 or 5 times in each session, practice session. Our next event is the ladder raise and extension. This is broken up into 2 different events. In the ladder raise, the primary focus is going to be on the shoulders and the tricep muscles. The firefighter is going to reach down, pick up the ladder, and placing his hand on each rung, he's going to raise the ladder up to the building and safely lower the ladder into the side of the building. The second half of this event is the extension. Primary focus being the lat muscles of the back and pulling. In a hand-over-hand fashion, the candidate's going to raise the ladder all the way to the top safely. Once it's come to the top, now in a reverse fashion, hand under hand, he's going to lower it all the way down to the ground. To properly simulate the ladder raise portion of the test, ideally we would have a 12-foot aluminum extension ladder, but if you don't have that piece of equipment at your house, you can use a single ladder, such as the one we've got, and the longer the better. And for added weight, to simulate lifting that ladder, I've attached the 50-pound backpack through the rungs and back on itself, so that when we lift the ladder, it's going to stay in place and not fall off. And you need your wall behind you. We're going to stress the proper lifting techniques when we do this event, which is head up, back straight, and using the legs. So when you come down, you're going to focus on something up higher than your head is, and you're going to come down keeping your back straight and your head up, and you're going to grab the ladder and lift up this way. And remember the hand over hand technique. Each hand is on a rung as you lift it and bring it to the wall and then back down again. Now, because of the short ladder that we have, you're not just going to do like on the CPAT test that we saw, where you're just bringing the ladder up and put it against the wall. If you don't have a ladder that long, then what we're going to have to do is bring it up to the wall and back down, and keep doing that for about 30 seconds, 20-30 seconds at a time, and until you feel the muscles the shoulders, the back, the legs, those same muscles that we're using have been worked. Another way we can make this harder is taking the weight that we've attached to it and bringing it higher to the top. The higher you bring that weight to the top, the heavier it's going to feel when you're actually lifting it up against the wall. So let's just say you're first practicing this and you've never done this before. Attach this weight all the way down closer to the bottom as we lift it up and bring it against the wall and bring it back down. As you get stronger, progressively, we're going to add weight to the pack and raise the pack higher up on its placement on the ladder to make it heavier. To start this event, the demonstrator is going to reach down using proper lifting technique and lift the actual ladder. Now hand over hand, placing each hand on each rung, bringing it all the way up to the top against the wall. And now reverse. Since we have a smaller ladder, we're going to just repeat this to here, and now we're going to bring it back against the wall again. I'm going to try to do this about 20 to 30 seconds at a time. And again, as you get stronger, raise the weight on the ladder or increase the load on the ladder, the actual weight in the pack. Once you've felt you've done enough at the stage, like I said, 20-30 seconds, then you can move on to the next station. The second half of this event is the ladder extension. We're going to need three things for this. We're going to need the rope for pulling. We're going to need your simulated weight. Here we've got the duffel bag with one sandbag in it, which is approximately 35-40 pounds. And then either a pull-up bar, a children's playground set, or what we have here, something that you drape the rope over to pull. And we're going to be using the same hand-over-hand method that we used during the actual CPAT test. One hand in front of the other, and we're going to be raising the weight up off the ground for a distance of 8 to 10 feet up off the ground, just as you would raise an actual ladder. Once you get the weight to the top, hand over hand, bring it back down to the ground safely. Keep in mind, as you do this event, if you can't handle 35-40 pounds, start off with a lighter weight in your, you can use a backpack, actual weights tied to the rope. Just start off with a weight that you feel comfortable with, and progressively, as the weeks go, add weight until you can pull up a weight of 35 to 40 pounds, and in doing it safely so the weight doesn't slip through your hands. Keep in mind also, if you're doing this event with weights or a hard object like that, when you're pulling it up, keep out from underneath the weight, so if you drop it, it does not come down on your head. Stand off to the side, like my demonstrator's doing. Each time you do this, it's going to be approximately 8 to 10 pulls, up and down. Rest for a minute in between. We're shooting for 4 sets of the 8 to 10 repetitions, and we're doing this, again, 3 to 4 times a week. Unless this is a problem event for you, then we're going to shoot for doing it 6 or 7 days a week.